Now, he's been dubbed the Jon Stewart of the Arab world, Bassem Youssef, the Egyptian satirist who was forced into exile after years of mocking his own country's ruling elite. After rebuilding his life and his public image as an American citizen, the heart surgeon turned comedian has found a new focus for his increasingly dark sense of humour. It's mostly his own story, but he cannot avoid what's happening in Gaza, where his wife has family. I spoke to Bassem here in the London studio this week while he took time out from his stand-up world tour. You have family in Gaza, your wife's family, your in-laws are there, right?
Yes.
And tell me, can you talk to them?
No, I mean, I've been touring, so it's been difficult. It's been difficult enough for them to be in touch with my wife and her family. But the thing is, they have like many families there, like cousins and uncles, and they're all left their houses in Khan Yunis and Gaza and northern Gaza. And now they are in one apartment, in one building in Rafah, sharing it with 25 other families. And, you know, at any moment we can hear a bomb drop. But it's okay because Israel will apologize, I'm sure, as they usually do. I mean, like, I was so happy to listen to their sincere apology for killing the people from Central Kitchen. Oh my God, like the pain that they have to go through. I mean, even one of their spokesmen tweeted on Twitter, it's like, see what Hamas made me do. It's like, it is so interesting. And the thing is, what's really, for me, what's very interesting is the outrage, the global outcry. It's like, oh, how could you do that, Israel? But we forget James Miller, a British filmmaker that was also killed by Israeli snipers. We forget Tom Hartland, which he was like also a British activist who's killed in the head. We forget Shireen Abu Aqla, the American-Palestinian reporter. It's like every time it's like, oh, Hamas did it. Oh, we did it. Oh, we're so sorry. There will be absolutely no accountability of what they did in Gaza for the past 6 months. This is what pains me.
Do you not think the tone is changing, given the mounting death toll?
Slightly, but it is performative rage. Like the ward reader are so enraged about Israel killing the 7 workers. And, you know, we talk about that, but I find that there's more rage about killing 7 foreign workers more than the rage about killing 30,000 Palestinians.
I mean, look,
remember when we
say that.
Remember when 30,000 was too much? Remember when 3,000 Palestinians was too much? Yeah. You know what happened? 3,000. You know, tomorrow, if 300,000 Palestinians killed, nobody will care. Nobody will care. Numbers don't mean anything
Why
anymore.
do you think that is?
Because they don't look at Palestinians as equal human beings. I don't speak about the current events because I can't. I do my show, which is like my personal story. It's a still very funny show. Please come to the show and you will enjoy it. And it's a kind of a break. It's the only way where I can be a break of what's happening. I cannot deal with that on a daily basis in my comedy. I can't.
So tell me about your show then.
My show is my own personal story from a heart surgeon turned comedian, had to be interrogated for his comedy for 6 hours. Had to leave the country because of my
Your
jokes.
own country?
Yes. I find myself in a gun rally. I find myself in 2 blocks away from a bombing. I find myself in the process of trying to be an American citizen. So it's more of a personal story that anybody can relate to.
What was it like starting over in America?
It was terrible.
Because you went from being #1 star...
Into a nobody.
Okay, into a nobody.
I was going to comedy clubs trying to make it there and people not laughing. And it humiliates you, humbles you and humiliates you at the same time. And it was a journey. Doing stand-up comedy in your second language, doing stand-up comedy in general is difficult. Doing it in your second language is even an added pressure. And I tell this everywhere. I remember my fans from Egypt would come to my stand-up comedy show and they see me as, of course, I wasn't good. Like, they were so disappointed. Like, oh, Bassem, he's going to drive an Uber in 6 months from now. He's done.
I've always noticed that your struggle is towards bringing people together. That's what I've noticed. And I want to ask you about a project that I read about, and I want to know if it's true. You've bought the rights to a book. The book happens to be called The Muslim and the Jew. It's translated in English. It's written by a German author. And it tells the story of a group of Egyptians and Arabs who lived in Berlin, basically, and saved hundreds of Jews from the Holocaust.
Yes.
Tell me about the story and why you want to do this.
This is a story that I bought the right to a year ago, even before October 7th. And after October 7th, I actually bought the lifetime rights, not just the option for 2 years. And it's called The Muslim and Jew in Germany. It was translated to an English book called Anna and Dr. Helmi. And it talks about Dr. Helmi, an Egyptian doctor who lived in Berlin under Nazi Germany. And he formed a group of underground network with other Arabs and saved 300 Jews from the Holocaust. And I think it's a great story because the Holocaust is a human story, not just a Jewish story, and definitely not an Israeli story. And I think this is a way to show that in the end of the day, we are people and we have so much in common, and we should not use human tragedies. We not should use excuses of different ethnicities in order to inflict the same pain that was done upon us on other people, especially if those people had nothing to do with that tragedy. And I want to show that, like, even before the establishment of Israel, Arabs and Jews in Germany lived a life of harmony and cohabitation, and they were even closer together than the German Christians. And the Holocaust is a very important part of our contemporary history, and we have a role in it, like saving other peoples from there, and we're being erased. So as an Arab, I want to actually show our story, ourselves, and put us into the place where we actually have a say and a place in human history.